Now that we're getting the hang of doing some resizing, I'm going to do these a little bit at a faster pace. So let's do a horizontal landscape post, so 1080 by 607. And you'll notice that 1080 is a common theme with Instagram. There's always a restriction to one of the sizes being 1080. So 1080 by 607. So let's do a new 1080 by 607. Let's do a new one. So 1080, and then it's going to be 607. So this is your horizontal post. And we could probably grab the Facebook and adapt it, since that's pretty darn close in dimension. And we're just going to scale it down. Don't need that anymore. And that's almost a perfect fit. So what's great about being able to resize like this is I'm already done with this size. All I have to do is just release the clipping mask and redo this, or take the direct selection tool and change our clipping mask so that it extends out a little bit. Done. And since this is Instagram, I don't know, I may make the shop with this bigger, or I may not have a call to action on the Instagram. You want to do some slight adjustments depending on what platform you're on, because certain things may work better in Facebook than they do on Instagram. Let's move those over. Maybe make that a little bit bigger. And there's our our horizontal Instagram post. Let's zoom out and do our last one, which is going to be a portrait, or a vertical version. So that's 1080 by 1350. 1080 by 1350. Oops, not a new document, new artboard. 1080 by 1350. So this is going to be pretty tall. Oh, let me do a new one. Make sure I have enough room. So this is going to be what's wonderful about doing digital design, digital advertising design in Illustrator, is this is very much the size of a standard page in a magazine ad. It's also the standard size of a poster, and also a standard flyer size. So once I do this layout, I'll have the basis to do a lot of print ads with this particular size. So that's what's so wonderful about designing in Illustrator, is it's going to be very easy to adapt all this to digital, because almost every client that does a digital campaign like this has some kind of print ads along with it, at least ones that are a little bit bigger that I work with. So what size? I think this has probably got the most potential to adapt to this size. So let's go ahead and copy and paste it in and start to adapt. So I'm going to release the clipping mask and see what we can do to get this to cover a larger area. Go ahead and reclip it. Draw a box. Selecting both, right-clicking, and make clipping mask. Send that to the back. Okay, so here we go. I gotta do a different take on this. I know what I could do. So remember this one, our cover photo? I think this would look lovely on that format. So I'm going to copy and paste this element. That's going to be great. So let me bring it over. Paste it. Make it a little bit bigger. And I'm thinking about a print ad when I'm doing this and adapting it later. Just kind of, I don't need these elements anymore. So with a print ad, they'll probably want their website and some other things that they're not going to put on their social media. So let me take, this is a gradient, and this has some transparencies on both sides, or the opacity is reduced to 0. Let's increase that to 100. I want it to be solid on this one. And transparency, let's make that 100% opacity. There we go. So there's our list. Let's make that bigger. Let me see if I can't just make that a solid color. Yeah, let's just do that. Make it a solid color. For the print ad, I might have it the way I had it with the gradient, but for a digital ad, let's keep it simple. Let's do the horizontal version of the logo for this. And so there's your post. Might need to emphasize the text a little more. And let's zoom in on our photo. This is Instagram. We want to have a nice zoomed in photo of our products. Really want to catch people's eye. So you notice how I zoomed in and it kind of brought you more focus on shopping and the products and less on the background. And there we go. We have 3 different kinds of Instagram posts. And we also have an entire array of Facebook posts. And we have one more thing to do, an Instagram story size. And then we're going to move on to a few digital display ads, and our campaign will be done. So an Instagram story ad is going to be 1080 by 920. So let's go ahead and put that on our artboard. And the thing about stories is we can just do one post, but kind of the benefit of having a story is you can tell a story. So in this case, I can do as many different posts as I want. So I want to have maybe 3 in a series. So I have a couple of seconds that each one will be shown. So I want to be mindful of the time restraint of a story. So 1080 by 1920. So 1080 by 1920. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to duplicate. Go ahead and get my artboard. I'm going to duplicate this. So this will be 1. I'm going to click up here to new artboard. It's going to automatically do the same size. 2 and 3. I think this automatically got drugged down. Put that back up there, and let's resize these just because I really like things to line up. So let's go up to edit artboards, and not a requirement. I just like to see them all together, close together in a series. So here it is. So what kind of story can we tell with this particular woman in the bag? So let's go ahead and copy and paste. This will be our final photo in the story. We want people to have our call to action. So our call to action is shop with us, right? So that'll be at the very end for sure. We want to maybe have the logo on each page. A client's going to appreciate that. And let's do the rest of these very image driven. So let's release the clipping mask here. What I think we could do is put the store names on 1, the image of the woman shopping as the starter. Let's go ahead and get that cropped. Going to make clipping mask and send to the back. Now we could have a list of our stores, which we already have a nice list of our stores right here. And I wish we had another image to use, and your client could supply that, or you could buy a stock photo to use as another image here. And then shop with us. So let's do that. I'm going to go on a website called Pexels and see if I can't find a couple other compelling images to put in our Instagram story.